Though hope is frail, it's hard to kill. Hello. Look. Good evening. It is Wednesday, January 6th, 2021. It's 8:51 p.m. My name is Jarrett Earl Casey. This is Charlotte. Say hi, Charlotte. Hi. And we are at my apartment in Midvale, Utah. And we're just saying hello. Oh, and she's gone. So, welcome. Today was a fairly good day. Let's see if I can. Oh, there we go. I slept in. I slept in till almost 9 a.m. Against the better judgment of some of the voices in my head who were very frustrated. But I felt somewhat hopeless this morning, and I sometimes try to retreat back into sleep when that happens. My dream state wasn't the best, but I didn't let that deter me from wanting to go back to sleep anyways. But I did wake up around 9 and got up, started my day. I went and got some groceries. I bought a new charger for my phone because I had left the other up at my parents' house. And then I came back. I applied for a job, assistant property manager. I thought that could be something where I could probably do that sufficiently. So I think I don't know. I think I can though. I think I could. Yeah. So but I'm going to keep applying for jobs as I can. It's hard. I was telling people in my head, I'm like, I don't think I should be working right now. Not that I'm not able to work, because I am. I'm capable and I'm dependable. These last two jobs were kind of nightmare jobs. But so I certainly am able to work. I don't think that's what I'm supposed to be doing in life at this moment, but that's okay. You just roll with the punches. So until I'm in a position where other things are happening and maybe I'm able to get some help training my mind or something like that, then I'll just keep trying to work and pay off my bills and do that thing. So so that kind of happened there. I other than that, I just tried to eat. I had gnocchi today. Gnocchi and a peanut butter jelly sandwich and a protein shake. So, still going vegetarian, and I feel good about that. Then I did my alumni call with Diamond Tree, which was really nice. I love Danette; she's so amazing. And spoke to my mom. Wrote a couple thank you cards. That was nice. And went over some, I guess, ground rules in my mind. I'm going to try and not go out after dark. I'm going to try and stay in and only go out during sunlight hours. I made a goal to wake up at the same time every morning, 7 days a week for the rest of January. I'm going to wake up at 6 a.m. I made a goal to do a daily exercise and then either yoga or meditation exercise and do about an hour of office work, applying for jobs or applying for something or filing my taxes or organizing files or something every day too. So I don't know if I'll be able to keep that one, but something like 30 minutes or something. It's something productive for my personal life every day. So even if maybe that's writing thank you notes or organizing the coat closet, I guess. But at first, it'll probably be applying for jobs and that kind of thing. So those are some goals I set for the month of January, and I feel pretty good about that. There were a couple conversations going on in the mind today that were a little weird. Somebody mentioned we were mentioning global change and stepping into just kind of a new world, and how that would require the cooperation and engagement, involvement, and of everyone, every major system and organization. And someone brought up the drug cartels or just the underworld or whatever, and that widespread, impactful change at a global level would probably have to include their cooperation too. And I remembered having conversations in the before life about that and agreeing with that and thinking, yeah, that makes sense. That would absolutely be true. And I know that a lot of those people actually do, even though that industry and the addictions that it feeds can kind of be very destructive to society. There are a lot of people in those lines of business or in those worlds that do a lot of good for a lot of people who are really good people. And it's not popular to say that, but I do believe that that's true. And and there was a discussion surrounding that where people were getting really upset about that, and I was kind of defending that statement that at some point as this world moves forward and we step into new ways of doing things, into more peaceful and equally more peaceful and fair or just systems and ways of living, that those people or those systems are going to have to be on board with a lot of it, and that probably requires speaking with them and working with them on some level. So that was something we talked about today. A lot of people seem to be, and I don't know if this is absolutely true, but kind of giving up hope on me, including myself. Just today, I was like, "What's the point? There's no point. This world is obviously not the world I need to be in, and I'm not the person that this world needs me to be without some help." And even though I've had plenty of help, and I know that, and I'm like, what's the point? Whatever, just take me out easy. Just but and then I got through that. I was like, what am I thinking? Oh my gosh, I can do this. I can do this. I was sitting on the toilet and I sat there, and a thought came to my mind, and I went, I am pathetic. I am pathetic. They're right. What am I doing? I can do this. So that's kind of where I'm at now. I'm like, I will not be pathetic. So we're just gonna keep going. We're gonna keep trying. Hopefully I'll be good enough to be someone you can say or used to know or love and support. Or can work with. Yeah. And that's that. So anyways, other than that, I feel pretty good today. I'm gonna try and go to church on Sunday, and I'm gonna try and arrange a volunteer something that I can do every week now that I have some extra time. So I've got that on the docket for this week. And I'm gonna go get a COVID test on Friday. I'm not showing symptoms, but they're trying to test 8,000 people in one day. So I'm going to go to Intermountain Medical Center and get one of those. It's a free test. I hope that's okay. Who knows? So, other than that, I was watching one of my videos from the other night that was emotional for me. And I was watching it last night after last night's video. I thought I'm gonna watch a couple of these, and I put it on, and I started laughing. I was laughing at myself because I sounded so ridiculous. I sounded very almost fake, which was really hard for me because I was crying and I was emoting. And I know in that moment I was really crying and I was really emoting. But when I watched it on video, I thought, this is so embarrassing. This looks fake. ah. And I thought, is that really what I look like? Oh my gosh, if someone were watching this, would they just think I was just the most ridiculous, stupid, dramatic person? And I think the answer is yes. So that was actually really difficult for me because I'm like, well, I hope maybe they're connected to me so that when they're watching this, they can know that I really am feeling that. I really am crying. I really was like overwhelmed. And because man, watching it on video, I just look so ridiculous. So I just thought I'd put that out there. So I'm sorry if you've watched these and just shook in your head and go, "Oh, that kid." But I really mean it. I mean everything I say. So, let's go Spaghetti-O. Okay, lesson 4. These thoughts do not mean anything. They are like the things I see in this room. Unlike the preceding ones, these exercises do not begin with the idea for the day. In these practice periods, begin with noting the thoughts that are crossing your mind for about a minute. Then apply the idea to them. If you are already aware of unhappy thoughts, use them as subjects for the idea. Do not, however, select only the thoughts you think are bad. You will find, if you train yourself to look at your thoughts, that they represent such a mixture that, in a sense, none of them can be called good or bad. This is why they do not mean anything. In selecting the subjects for the application of today's idea, the usual specificity is required. Do not be afraid to use good thoughts as well as bad. None of them represents your real thoughts, which are being covered up by them. The good ones are but shadows of what lies beyond, and shadows make sight difficult. The bad ones are blocks to sight and make seeing impossible. You do not want either. This is a major exercise and will be repeated from time to time in somewhat different form. The aim here is to train you in the first steps toward the goal of separating the meaningless from the meaningful. It is a first attempt in the long-range purpose of learning to see the meaningless as outside you and the meaningful within. It is also the beginning of training your mind to recognize what is the same and what is different. In using your thoughts for application of the idea for today, identify each thought by the central figure or event it contains. For example, this thought about calling my mom does not mean anything. It is like the things I see in this room. You can also use the idea for a particular thought that you recognize as harmful. Oh, okay. There's nothing bad about calling my mom, by the way. It was the first thing that came to my mind. This practice is useful, but is not a substitute for the more random procedures to be followed for the exercises. Do not, however, examine your mind for more than a minute or so. You are too inexperienced as yet to avoid a tendency to become pointlessly preoccupied. Further, since these exercises are the first of their kind, You may find the suspension of judgment in connection with the thoughts particularly difficult. Do not repeat these exercises more than 3 or 4 times during the day. We will return to them later. So, when you have thoughts that you might see as bad, or even thoughts that you might see as good, you can just pause and acknowledge the thought. This thought about doing the dishes does not mean anything. And this thought about not being good enough does not mean anything. It's just like the things in this room. And I like when he tells us that whether thoughts are good or bad, they're covering up our higher level of thinking. And so there have been times I've noticed, I don't know if any of you have noticed, where your mind is quiet and you don't have those good or bad thoughts, but you can feel yourself thinking on a higher plane, and coming to certain understandings or decisions or even having communications, even though you're not aware of them, you know that you are. Sometimes you even respond like, oh, yeah. You're like, what am I responding to? Um, but when you have these lower thoughts that don't really mean anything, you're covering up from this higher plane of thought. And if we can learn to clear that, which is something I need to do, um, then we can start to step into or tune into this higher level of thought and communication and be more aware of it. So, so right now, I think the reason why some of us have trouble quieting our mind of these thoughts is we attach so much meaning to them, and then so we start to need them. So this is helping us acknowledge that these thoughts that we think we need, that we're so attached to, that we keep thinking them over and over, that they don't really mean anything. And so we can maybe start to let some of them go. And we can cleanse or clear our mind and quiet the mind to open it up to higher thought and higher communication, which is already happening. Anyways, I'm going to cut it short, but tomorrow we'll read some scripture. Tonight, I think I just want to go to bed. So have a wonderful night. Thank you. I love you very much. And we'll see you tomorrow.